Gretchen, and welcome back to my channel. Alright, as you can tell from the title of this video, I am going to be doing a kind of get ready with me, but it's more so a testing out my potential makeup for my engagement photos. Luke and I are having our engagement photos done on May 18th, and I wanted to do a trial run on the makeup before the actual day of the photos so that I kind of knew what I would be working with and to make sure that that's exactly what I was picturing. So, as you can tell, tried out some different lipsticks because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, but I decided to go with a more muted, neutral look, or neutral and muted for me. Yes, we all know that I do like to do fun colors, but I have been gravitating more towards just a lot of neutrals recently. It's just something that I'm comfortable with, and I do enjoy doing that. And again, the whole point of engagement photos is to represent yourself as well as who you all are as a couple. So I was like, I'm comfortable with this, let's go with this. So if you're interested to see my thought process with going with this makeup choice as well as the selections that I make, keep watching. Hello, welcome back to another makeup video. Today's is going to be special because I am going to be kind of doing a trial run of what I envision my makeup will look like for my engagement photos with Luke. We have engagement photos coming up on the 18th of May, and I kind of want to just do a trial run for makeup. So the whole idea of like doing makeup for a big event like this, honestly, I'm always of the mindset of go with what is you and what you feel most comfortable with. So for engagement photos, I'm gonna do just that, and I'm gonna do not like super bright, colorful looks, even though I enjoy those, but I would rather be more me in these photos, which means a neutral eye look as well as a neutral lip. No red lipstick, at least that's not my plan. Starting this off with the KVD Lock-It primer, as well as my two eyeshadow primers, one that I use on my nose, which is the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer, the primer potion. I used the original one on my nose because I remember reading that for those of you with like super patchy looking makeup on your nose to try eyeshadow primer instead. And then on the eyes I do anti-aging. And yes, as I say in all makeup videos, I am the oddball that starts with her eyes first and then works her way to her face makeup, because I make a mess when I do my eye makeup. So because I want to stick with something that's more me, I am gonna go in with my absolute favorite neutral eyeshadow palette, which is the Stone Cold Fox. But instead of like doing super dark on the corners, because usually I'll do like really dark on the outer corner and just make everything else lighter, I think I'm just gonna go light all the way over. Yes, I'll add a little bit of darkness to the outer corner, but not like I usually do. So then comes the decision of what color to do. So I might do Quarry Days up here, which is usually what I do just on my crease or like above the crease, but I might just do that in the crease and the outer corner and just build on the outer corner with this one. I just take a fluffy brush like I usually do, start in the outer corner and just kind of rotate it inwards, so that way it's like the outer corner and the crease are connecting. It still adds some definition without being like super harsh, because I know I was just saying that I want it to be like me, you know, makeup that represents me, but I also don't, for some reason these photos, I don't want the outer corner to be super dark. I'm just trying this out. This may end up not being what I go with, so that's why I want to do a trial run if this is what I would like to have for the photos. Because I've already picked out my outfits. We get 2 outfit changes. I've already picked out my outfits. I think Luke has his. We're gonna have one that's like more dressy, and then we're gonna have one that's a little bit more casual. I think Luke is wearing black for both, and I'm gonna wear black for the dressy and then a white top for the more casual. So there we have that, where it's a little bit darker on the edges. And then I'm gonna go in with a little bit more of a size brush and just lighten the inner and middle part up with Trip, which is my favorite one to do. Some of that on the brush, tap it, and just pat it in there so that it just brightens the inner and center part of the eyelid up. And I know some people are probably expecting me to do something bold for these photos, just like a lot of people were expecting something bold for the wedding. Not the case. I may have a specific like style that's like my everyday, but when it comes to my wedding, I actually have a very specific want for it, where it's like edgy but classic, if that makes sense. So this just helps brighten it up a little bit. So not like too much, but still something that's noticeable, right? And then I always just have like an extra fluffy brush that doesn't have any makeup on, and this just helps everything blend together so it doesn't have any harsh lines. And honestly, that's it. That's my plan, is this. I'll come back and do the under eye after I do my face makeup, because there's no point in me trying now, putting on face makeup, and then having to like redo it essentially. I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyeliner and mascara and lashes off camera. I'll tell you each thing that I use when I get back. All right, we're back with eyeliner and lashes on. So for eyeliner, I used NYX's Epic Ink Liner. This is by far one of my favorite liquid liners. I also fill in spaces that like I don't get with the liquid liner with a pencil. So this is Urban Decay's eyeshadow pencil in their blackest one, I think called Zero. Mascara, I use Subversion and Perversion, the primer and the mascara, and then I use false lashes. And yes, I will be doing false lashes for the photos. I will be using this style, not this specific pair, because this pair is past its usage. You know how you're only supposed to use eyelashes like, what is it, 20 uses or something like that? Pretty sure we're on like 30 for these. They're looking rough, but I didn't want to break out the new ones quite yet. I'll probably get one use out of them before the photos, but I didn't want to break them out quite yet when I was making this video. So these ones have to make it just a little bit longer. So now we're gonna move on to the face. I'm gonna be using my current favorite, which is Too Faced's Born This Way in Snow. I'm gonna take a big old sponge, get it on in here, cover up everything. Really and truly, my makeup for my engagement photos are not gonna be much different than my everyday look. It mostly comes down to the blush and the lipstick that I'm gonna pick. Because I do like to change up my blush. I do like to change up my lipstick. Now I've already decided that I am gonna do a neutral lipstick. And since I'm doing a neutral eye, for blush, I am going with something that is considered neutral, but still has like a slight hint of pink to it. Not so much so that you're like, oh, that's a pink blush, but it just adds a little bit something more so it's not just brown or tan all across my face. I also usually wear like a different kind of headband, but I didn't grab it today. I grabbed a headband, like an actual like metal headband. Usually I have like a cloth one that pulls the hair all the way back, so this is fun. I'm getting makeup all in my hairline. I'm also, while I'm patting this all in, I am gonna go get my nails redone. So I did like a trial run on my nails a few weeks ago, just because I wanted to have nails for the photos, have nails that look decent for the photos. I didn't want to do press-ons like I usually do, because press-ons are a little hit or miss. Like they'll pop off, and I didn't want one to pop off and then all of a sudden we can't find it and I'm missing a nail for the photos. I went and did like a trial run on my nails recently, and I like how they turned out. They've definitely grown out now, so I need to go get them redone basically before the photos. Foundation on. Now it's time for like the 3 different kinds of concealers that I use. So the one that I use to highlight everything is my KVD concealer that I just like put in little highlight marks, and then underneath my eye will highlight areas and pat that in. And of course my face has been breaking out recently. I don't know if it's stress from the wedding or just stress with life in general. My face is not happy even when I'm drinking water. I will say there was like 2 nights this past week where I ended up washing my face, but like it was after I fell asleep on the sofa at night, and then I woke up at like, I don't know, like 3 in the morning. All of a sudden I was like, oh, I should go to bed. I don't know if that pissed it off. And then for little spot areas that I want to cover, I use Too Faced Born This Way concealer. And yes, my nose does get its own concealer, because you noticed I didn't put any foundation on my nose, because apparently it's better to just put, like, if you have super dry skin like myself, it's better to just put concealer on your nose. So for my nose, I use Color FX's Power Play concealer, and I just put that on my nose. That's the only place that goes. Though I will say I do really enjoy that concealer just for every day, but in this case, it is just for my nose. And I always end up putting too much on, so then I have to beat the crud out of it until it blends in. I'm also really nervous about it being super hot for photos, because I know how my hair reacts to humidity. Poofs up. I really don't want poofy hair. As much as I like curly hair, I can't do it very well. Again, go with what is more me, which is straight hair. Except for right now, it's curly because I did recently get it done. So if you see a little bit of dye like in my scalp or like on my hairline, it's because I haven't washed my hair yet since I got it done. I always wait like 2 2 or 3 days before I wash my hair after getting it re-dyed. So basically I just need to find a hairspray or some kind of like anti-humidity spray so that when I do my hair and then go outside for photos, it doesn't poof up, because I am very terrified of it poofing up for photos and then not having the opportunity to like straighten it again. Whenever I finish putting on liquid makeup, I always just give it a quick little set-in spray before I move into set-in powder. So for set-in powder, I use Fenty Beauty's Pro Filter, and I just use a sponge. Sometimes I use a brush, sometimes I use a sponge. I've been on a sponge kick recently. Just helps it apply a little bit more precisely. I end up putting it pretty much all over my face. I'm like, oh no, I just put it in these spots, but then when I think about it, I'm like, no, it pretty much goes everywhere. All right, so while we wait for that to bake, I'm gonna fill in my eyebrows a little bit. As always, my eyebrows are microbladed, so they are tattooed on my face. However, they're like in a lighter shade. So I do go in with Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in taupe and just kind of add a little bit of definition. Not much, because it's already there, but I do like to darken them up slightly. They're a little bit lighter on the inner part of the eyebrow. I do tend to get more focus there. And as always, for contour, I'm using Fenty Beauty's Sunstalker. My shade is In the Sun, which is the lightest shade. Contour the nose a little bit. Oh, also, while I do this, thinking about it while I'm contouring the nose, I swapped out my septum jewelry already for photos, just to make sure that that's what I wanted to do. I went with a segment ring that I used to wear all the time. It's much closer to my nose, as you can see. So I wanted one that didn't hang down as far, because that's how my wedding's gonna be too. Like, I still haven't decided quite on what jewelry I'm gonna wear for the wedding, but I do want to go with more dainty and classic. For some of y'all, it's probably like, wait, this is what Gretchen wants to do? Which I say, yep, bet y'all didn't see that coming. I like bold, fun things, but for something like my wedding, not what I want to do. I do want, like, for my jewelry to be a little bit more dainty, a little bit more classic, so I'm hoping to find septum jewelry that hugs the actual nose instead of hanging down some. Don't get me wrong, I love the jewelry that hangs down a little bit more loose, but for photos and the like, I want to have jewelry that hugs. Again, I don't know how long the photos will take. I know we're looking at several different locations, because one location we're looking at would involve Ivan. And if y'all don't know who Ivan is, he's my dog. He's my lab boxer mix. He's a sweetheart, but he is scared of everything and everyone. So as much as I want him to be part of the photos, the only true place that he's comfortable with is someplace near my house. I don't know if the photographer is going to want to travel all the way close to where I live and then to a place like 30 minutes away for the rest of the photos. So I sent her an email. I was like, this is what we're thinking. I would like to include Ivan, but he's very nervous. So the only place he's comfortable with that's outside of my house is this one place. If that works out, great. If not, maybe we can schedule a shoot with Ivan, like a separate one or something. Just like a little photo session that's separate from engagement photos. So I'll see what she says. All right, so for blush, this is the one I was talking about. This is Tarte's Amazonian Clay Blush, and this is in the shade Risque. It's a nude, but it's like still got a pink tone to it. So I just think it adds a little bit something more than just like a regular nude blush. It's still nude, but has some pink tones to it. It just adds a little something extra, I feel like. And then I've been putting some, like, I put it heavier on the outer part of my cheeks, but then I kind of pull a little bit into the center part, so it kind of is everywhere. And for highlighter, I'm planning to use my new highlighter that I got from Black Moon Cosmetics. It's their Moonlighter in the shade Squid. Add a little bit of that. Ugh, I love this highlighter. I just want to put it everywhere. Highlighter. Now I go back into Stone Cold Fox now that we've got face makeup on. Go into Stone Cold Fox and get a fluffy brush. Take Stranger over here, which is a lighter brown, and just put a little bit underneath my lower lash line. For lower lash line, I use this eyeshadow pencil again, fill it in, and then I use a mascara. I use this Clump Crusher from CoverGirl because I like the wand, it's curved, so it just kind of ends up working better with the lower lash line. And now comes the time to decide lip colors. So I have 3 lip colors here. They're all from Black Moon Cosmetics. They're all my favorite nudes from them. One is a more brown nude, one is a more pink nude, and then one is just like nude. So now is the decision on which one to pick. And I'm gonna go ahead and swatch them just so I can, like, you can look at them in their tubes and they look one way, but then until they're like on the skin, you're like, you can't really make a choice. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch them on my hands. So these are the 3 that I'm looking at. This one is called Mourning, this one is called Libra, and this one is called Dusk. Dusk is my all-time favorite from Black Moon Cosmetics. However, I don't know if that's the one that I want to wear in the photos because it's darker. Like, I'm trying to make this still seem lighter, if that makes sense. So I am actually leaning towards Mourning, which is not the more pink. Mourning is this one. And that's the one I'm leaning towards. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on. And fingers crossed that's the one that I decide, because I don't wanna have to take this off and keep trying. All right, so that is Mourning from Black Moon Cosmetics. I think that's the one I'm gonna go with. I think that's the one, because I wanted something that's lighter but still adds color to my lips, especially after doing full face of makeup. I think this is gonna be it. And then I think this will be the final look. Let me fix my hair. Again, my hair won't look like this for the photos because it's still a little curly from when I got it done the other day. I can't curl to save my life. I'll be going straight with my hairstyle just because that's what I usually do. That's more me, as much as I like the curl. So I think this is the final makeup look. Like, what do we think? Do we think that this is a good lip choice? Because again, I have these 3 that I'm toying between, but I do really like how this one turned out with this makeup look. I think this might be it. Engagement photos, y'all. Wild. And that is the final look. I do think I am going to stick with Mourning, which is probably one of the lightest shades that Black Moon Cosmetics offers for lips. I just love it. It kind of settles nice into a nice color once you've applied it. Like, it almost looks completely different when you put it on, and then once it dries a little bit, warms up a little bit more. So I do think this is what I'm gonna go with. I know a lot of people probably thought I was gonna go with a red lipstick, and don't get me wrong, I do love a red lipstick, but for these photos, I kind of wanted everything to be more muted, even if it is still, you know, a lot. It's a full face of makeup, so how muted can you get? Special thank you to my patrons. You can help support the channel on Patreon while having access to videos early, viewing patron-only content, and more. But that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to go down there and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that YouTube will let you know when I upload next. But until next time, bye y'all.